revenue we've doubled in the last year. People also we've almost doubled 1.8 times being. So those numbers have been there, but I think beyond that, I think the growth has also been in terms of being able to better handle any kind of challenges that come our way.
Look around yourself. Most leaders are playing small or just good enough. And not because they are bad at what they do, they are often brilliant, but because they are trapped in daily firefights, trapped in good enough. And let me tell you, good enough is the biggest enemy of greatness. We are all trapped in comfort zones that are slowly killing our own dreams. Now that was me for most of my life, and it ate me up from the inside, leading to depression and burnout. While the outside world celebrated my good enough success, that was suffocating. And today, my life, everything that I do, is a stand against mediocrity and an unapologetic call to excellence. We see too many good companies hitting walls. We see too many entrepreneurs sacrificing their health, their finances, their families, their joy, just to keep the ship running. And we all settle for a rhythm of good enough or our comfort zones because the path to legendary feels impossible or too far beyond us. Now, that is unnecessary and very frankly unacceptable to us. And it is a complete waste of human potential.
Yes, it has, although it's just 6 weeks, it has been quite a ride. I was kind of stuck. We doubled the prices to get started with. And we had this role play, like how I would present this to my clients. And I thought that they would say that there's no way, you can't make this. Like I thought they were going to refuse and becoming some kind of resistance. They didn't. And you helped me to really feel the position of the client when they talk to me, but also how I can improve my role and take more leaderships in that. This is so big. It's like, to me, this is like dream material. These are the things I dreamt about when I was a little girl, to publish a book and to go to a bookshop and find my book there.
Not only do we help you make high-stake decisions, we also help you become stronger and build leadership capacity so that you are not dependent on us the next time around. That is the kind of work we help you do at 10GenPartners. We are not here for incremental gains. We are not here for 10-20% improvements. We are talking about helping you make leaps that may feel impossible right now. Our partner companies are scaling from 70 to 150 million. One company is scaling from 12 to 50 million. Another from 15 to 50, and one from 1 to 6 million as we speak this very moment. And I'm grateful to assist the founders and CEOs of these companies every single week. And here is the key. We don't just help you hit your goals. We help you achieve more than what you currently think is possible. We partner with you for the long term and help you not just achieve business results, we also help you fulfill those dreams that you haven't even dreamt yet. Because the real barrier is not the market, it is not your resources, it is your ability to reimagine what is possible.
I have never felt this powerful and driven before. I couldn't have even imagined to be in this current situation last year. I couldn't even ask. So what this year, so I think 2024 was one of the biggest years for me. In fact, Sumit, I think, who could have imagined during this time last, you were taking a bet on me. And now you are working with all the founding team of the startup. You're working with all of them now. Even if I would have had to say that, okay, I will achieve one of this thing, I would have probably given it 3 years time. It just happened in a year.
Yeah. And look, I need to tell you something important about me before we go any further. I am nobody special. In fact, I am a nobody. There is nothing in my history, nothing in my education, nothing in my evidence that was supposed to lead me to where I am today. I grew up in India. I was that introverted kid who became an engineer because that's what you did. I spent 16 years in the tech world, a comfortable career, a comfortable paycheck, a comfortable life. And I was comfortably numb. I was almost dead inside, not feeling alive, even though I had everything by external standards. If you had shown me 5 years ago, 10 years ago, what I am doing today, working with CEOs, scaling companies, standing for impossible dreams like taking India's volleyball team to the Olympics by 2032, I would have told you That is for another lifetime. That is not possible for me. I would not even have dreamed, let alone plan or execute the kind of impact that I get to shape in the world through the portfolio companies that I work with. But here is what I realized: comfort is the enemy of greatness. So I worked on myself. I faced my fears head on. I reinvented myself, not once, but multiple times. Others told me I was doing career suicide. Even I feared the same so many times. And yet I continued. Because if I was already dead inside, what use is a good earning career if I was not feeling alive inside? So I said no to appearances and to just looking good. And I experimented wildly with what I wanted and the way that I wanted to go for it. And I am telling you this not to brag, but to say that I am living an impossible life today, by any definition of that word, impossible. And if I can do it, so can you. I am not better than you. Look, I am not coming in as some expert who has all the answers. I am one of the best in the world at what I do. But I am not here to preach. I am not coming in as somebody who has figured it all out. I don't want you to believe or trust anything that I say just because I am saying it. I am here to be by your side, to ask you the tough and provocative questions that you have been avoiding, the ones that keep you up at 3 a.m. but you push it down by the morning. And nothing that I speak about, nothing that I share is theory. This is my life. Everything that I share with you, I practice every single day. And now we get to do it together, me, you, and your team. The difference between where most leaders operate daily, I simply call it mediocrity. Not as a judgment, but simply getting real in that level of good enough and what is actually possible. The difference between that is massive. The difference between how you show up today and what is possible for you, Olympic gold level possibility for you, is massive. It's massive for any human being. Now, as your shadow CEO, I am not giving you advice from the sidelines. I am in the game with you. I show you how it is done with all the uncertainty, without any proven formulas. Because any proven formula, any framework, that is just marketing. It doesn't work in real time, especially when you go for the impossible. As we work together, we go through challenges together. We don't just fix what is broken. We build the courage and the capacity to deal with bigger challenges on your own in the future. We ship results and then I hand it over to you. A business will never outperform the consciousness of its leader. When we shift who you are being, how your team and you show up every day, even when nobody is watching, the business results become inevitable. They are just the icing on the cake. Let me show you what this looks like when we work together. A former Indian volleyball captain was already doing great work, but something was holding him back on his ambition of putting Indian volleyball into Olympics. After working together for a few months, he is not just thinking bigger, he is being bigger.
I'm a former volleyball player, represented the Indian team for 10 years. I was the captain of the Indian team. Earlier, I had a lot of apprehensions. I've been coming from a very small town and restricting myself in every thought process in anything where I ask or where I present myself. But now, recently we conducted the Super League of BBL Season 5, where the president of World Volleyball came. So we mobilized the entire town of Tejpur to contribute. And this happened exactly the way we wanted. And Sumit made me to believe that I have to go the extra mile. If today, like around 10,000 children are being benefited, if I going the extra mile can benefit like 1 lakh children, so why not?
Today, he is walking into meetings with powerful people from both the business world and the government. He's asking for what he stands for when it comes to volleyball. And he's getting invited to speak at companies, colleges, stages across India and even beyond. And here is the kicker. He's asking for 5x of what he used to ask for last year. Not because I taught him some negotiation tactics, because he understands his own power now. This is not a change in strategy. This is a change in who he knows he is.
I used to feel a little underpowered or less powerful, less confident, and not really committed to what as a vision we are trying to achieve, right? So when I say committed, it is like, okay, I wish this happens, and hopefully this happens, were the words that I used to use before. Now, I think it is, and I've told you this again in multiple calls, that nobody can take away the feeling that I feel powerful.
what I realize is then if in case I'm asking, am I committed towards something, that means I'm not committed. So that essentially brought in a safe change. And probably what I could have done in about 2 months, I was able to do it in 2 days. Second key thing is, how do you look at achieving bigger things? So one exercise that we did, where we said, hey, what do we want to do in the next 9 months? How can we do that in 9 weeks? And hey, is an opportunity to do that in 9 days. That was like mind blowing. That changed the whole perspective of time.
An entrepreneur for over 15 years took his first real vacation for 2 weeks. No calls, no emails, no devices. 2 full weeks, and the business ran perfectly without him. Because we didn't just grow his company, we built systems instead of heroes, leaders instead of followers. And that vacation was not a holiday, it was a testament to the business that we have created and transformed together. Think of the senior manager at one of the biggest companies on this planet who was drowning in 12-hour meeting days when we started, getting critical performance reviews about not communicating well, was on the verge of burnout. We cut his meeting time in half to just 6 hours a day while doubling his team's productivity. Now he's getting visibility from senior directors and VP. He's being seen as a leader without having to prove anything. He reclaimed his life. He reclaimed his power.
One is, I was deeply feeling that, I'm an average person. That was in my consciously, I had that always in my life. And that is one of the things that we fixed early in our coaching sessions.
Mhm.
So coming out of that has, immeasurable benefits in multiple aspects, I would say. One is a confidence level, and, thinking that, okay, I can do this. I'm not average. I'm the best, right, in this role. And then that itself gives us the energy to, take it up at a much different way and level. And so those are some of the direct benefits. But there are levels of growth. That's a way that I never wait or look for any validation at all. Right? I find out what is right and I'm doing it. Day after day, minute after minute, meeting after meeting, and no validation seeking. 2, I don't care what is the roles of the people who are in the room, and if there are right things to be said, and I make sure to call that out without worrying about the roles and levels of people in the room. I attended about 10 to 12 hours of meeting before our starting of our mentorship, right? And now I'm attending 6 hours max. The max.
Yeah, and that's per day.
That's per day. Per day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Per day 10 to 12 hours. Now it's 6 hours less or less.
Yeah.
So that is and then that's not just it, right? When I was attending 10 to 12 hours of meetings, I was barely meeting the expectations of the role. But now when I am attending like 5 to 6 hours of meeting, I'm exceeding expectations already given and printed, rating given to be shared by my manager. And I have a trajectory to go further, right? And that is the beauty of it. It's like I spend half the time and my rating is shooting up the roof. I don't know how, right? So that was the magic, I think, thanks to our coaching, to be honest.
But the real impact, it goes way deeper than these business metrics. Like the brilliant co-founder whom I supported last year, who finally had the courage to have that long overdue conversation with his elder brother about the future of their business. They had unspoken tension for years. After our work, he found the courage to speak his truth, to share his dreams, even with the possibility the brothers might go their separate ways. That wasn't about business strategy. That was about honoring his soul. That was about honoring what he really cared about. Or the client who first time in her life took a stand for herself. She found the strength to ask her husband to leave their home, to draw boundaries that protected her spirit. The self-respect she gained, she had never felt it before. And that power doesn't stay at home. It radiates into her work, her leadership, and everything that she does. Or the founder whose startup acquisition fell through on the penultimate day. The deal collapsed. The company went bankrupt. They had no more money. Nightmare scenario for any entrepreneur. But this guy, instead of being crushed, he navigated the entire ordeal with peace and trust. He didn't beat himself up. He pivoted quickly, and landed a dream job for himself within 30 days. Now that is true wealth, that is true freedom. Or think about my client who hadn't spoken to her family in 20 years because of a legal battle. She wasn't allowed to walk into her ancestral home. After just a couple of months working together, she showed up. First time they turned her away, but she stood for herself. She went back a few days later, and this time the door opened. They had an empathetic, powerful conversation that began to heal more than 2 decades of pain. Now that is generational healing. That is the ripple effect of the kind of work that we will do together.
You start seeing it with the small examples. Like, for example, as I just mentioned about your rate. If you ask for certain rates and then you double the rates and you don't see any objections from people and any not even questions, you say, okay, this is actually, they do it, and it proves that you can do anything basically. You start to see that actually if you set up a certain goal, for example, I want to speak at TED Talks, right? And that was absolutely like 1 year ago or 2 years ago. It was like, oh my God, I'm never gonna do this. And I filled an application a week ago. So it's it doesn't look not feasible anymore. It doesn't look impossible anymore. So when you and even like, for example, I had the goal for a couple of years to reach to influence 25,000 women and onboard them into emerging tech. But right now I look at this 25,000, and it was 10 actually. Actually, it was 10 even when we had the first conversation. Now it's 25. And I'm looking at this 25,000 number. I'm thinking, no, it's actually not a lot. Maybe it needs to be 100,000. Maybe it's actually not that much, So you start, because everything is relative, and I think the bigger you get inside, the more impressive your influence can be.
At the same time, going for multi-generational impact and going for massive wins is not for everybody, because we will challenge you. I will challenge you more than anybody else ever has. And at the same time, we will support you and care for you and your team more than anyone else ever had. We go all in. We don't hold back. There are moments in every leader's life when they need somebody they know they can count on. That's who we are for you. Once you start working with us, we have got your back for the rest of our life. Not just until the project ends. For life. Once we start working together, I've got your back for the rest of your life. Because this is not just about business for us. This is who we are. Business is just the best way we know how to create sustainable impact in the world. We will challenge you to dream outrageously, to comfort the uncomfortable truths you have been avoiding, and to commit fiercely to what truly matters. We won't be reasonable. Unreasonable is the path that we will start on. Unrealistic, not practical. That is who we are. We are not here to judge you. But we are also not here to please you. We are here to serve you. We won't sugarcoat. We won't hold back. We will be honest and direct in our conversations for your sake. And yeah, we provide unmatchable value. And we want a small chunk of the upside that we create for you to fund our team and the myriad ways we create multi-generational impact. See, most people ask when they think about dreams and goals, what am I good at? What have I done before? What is realistic? What should I think about the future? Those are not the wrong questions, but they have no power or very limited power. The question is not what is it that you're good at. The question that we ask is, what do you want? The question is not what you have done before. The question we ask is, what do you really, really want? The question is not what you think is possible or realistic or reasonable. The question again is, what result do you want to create in the world? Leave alone the past. You might not have history. You might not have evidence. You might not have any skills or expertise. The question still remains, what do you want? What difference, what impact do you want to create in the world? And then we work on you first. We free you up so that you show up in bigger and bigger games of your life with that freedom, with that joy on your face.
I think it made me a better human being, a better son, and a better leader, a better husband, and a better father too. I think that is what is greatness all about. Yes. And thinking about the fact that what would you leave behind when you go, that is a conscious thought that is always playing in my mind and which helps me stay afloat, not lose grip. So I think that's what has happened over the last 6 months. A lot has changed in my behavior. I used to be a very impulsive kind of person. The outburst was very quick, and at the same time I could go back to being normal as well. But that was not something nice. I think that probably put in a lot of barriers in front of me, so people could not approach me or people could not read me. And I was like, why would I want to be so mysterious? If there should be mystery, I think it has to be natural. And I think what has changed is my way of speech, my way of approaching a problem or a situation. And one thing that I really overcame was my stage fear. Because I used to stammer a lot when I'm in front of people, and if I was asked to speak back in school and college, I used to literally sit on that bench of mine and pray. I hope I don't get called. I hope I don't. And earlier, it was always confusion. Why? Because I used to be a people pleaser. But I was wrong. I think I learned that from my wife. And because you end up ignoring the real things around you, and then you start going behind things which may not help you. Stop pleasing people and trying to make everyone happy. Even with my wife, I think that is a huge difference and a change in my personal level. Even last night, when we were just having a general conversation, it was a thing where I would just snap. But I was like, there's no point snapping. 10 seconds later, she started smiling. Probably she was expecting. And this morning when I woke up, I had a nice message from her and I replied. So I think, a lot has changed. And I'm really very happy and I really like myself. I think usually people become rude to you or they, okay, you're a big fellow trying to act smart. I didn't get that from him. And I think that is what really changed that. And it's like I look forward to each conversation. And I always sit the previous night to make my notes. From the first till the last session, we have everything in a piece of paper. And the notes that I made in the conversation.
And then we work on your team. We eliminate the silent killers in your organizations, the unspoken conflicts, the unclear goals, the reactive decisions, the misunderstandings, and we replace them with trust, accountability, and exponential growth for you as well as your teams.
Even with my leadership meetings, back in the days, we used to sit for 2.5 hours, 45 minutes, Sumit, to the dot, tuck, 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 tuck. The moment I stand up, no meeting is over, and I'm out. Things fall in line. Because earlier, when I used to ask something, I probably asked them 3-4 times, remind them. Now I really don't have. They come back in the service.
We want to do work that create ripples felt by your grandchildren's grandchildren. Whether we are scaling a company from 12 to 15 million or from 70 to 150 million, the question is never just how do we hit those numbers. The question is how do we build something that shapes the world long after we are gone. An average partner stays with us for 3 to 5 years, and we intend to work with people for a decade or more. Working with us is raw, honest, and intense. You will be stretched, you will be challenged, and you will be supported like never before. We will push you to rise above your own fears and excuses. We will strip away distractions so that we can focus together only on what truly matters. Working with us is like climbing the Mount Everest or going for the Olympic gold in whatever it is that you're striving for. You will feel unstoppable as you begin to see yourself and your possibilities in ways that you have never imagined before. This work is not for everyone. It is for leaders who are ready to play the biggest game of their lives. Leaders making those 100 million jumps. You want to make the impossible happen. This is for those who will tell the truth honestly, not afraid to be vulnerable. And if that is you, if you're tired of playing small, if you know there is more possible for you than your current level of success, but you can't see the path ahead, if you're ready to stop being comfortable and start being extraordinary, we should talk. Because here is what I can promise you. We will never give up on you. We see the path where others see a wall. We are here to create a world where people wake up excited to live, work, and contribute. We are 10GenPartners. We build leaders and companies that outlast us. That is not just what we do, that is who we are. Will you join us? This is our invitation to you.